Good afternoon on this soaking wet UK early evening, just walking my mutt. Here's what I want to say about people who speak out. I love people that speak out. I love people that put their reputation on the line, if you like, aren't scared to put their head above the parapet, aren't scared of whatever kind of illustration you want to use, aren't scared to step out of the bunker and speak their mind. And I'll tell you why. And it might not even be something I agree with. It could be a subject I disagree with. It could be a point of view I disagree with. It could be a faith theology I disagree with. It could be a sport view that I disagree with. No matter what it is, I admire people who speak out because they're speaking their conscience. Because we all have a conscience. We all have opinions and thoughts and feelings. There's things that we want to say. There's things that we want to respond to. And people who speak out are speaking out that conscience. We want to take that into a bit more of a serious road. People who are speaking out about wars, people who are speaking out about what's going on in our country, in other countries, what's happening in our cultures. Any topic you want to pick that's happening right now in the world, people who speak out with respect, people who speak out with no fear, but also with, we don't want to go around purposely trying to insult and provoke people and to seek to cause division and these things, but to speak out unafraid and boldly, to speak out our conscience. How do we feel about what's happening to the church in this country? How do we feel about what's happening in Iran? How do we feel about what's happening, what is still happening between Israel and Gaza? What's happening between Russia and Ukraine? We bring it closer to home. What's happening in our governments? What's happening on our streets in the UK? What's happening in our society? In people being arrested for feeding pigeons. Give me a break. There's lots of fear out there. There's lots of questions out there. There's lots of paranoia and anxiety. A lot of it because of purposeful reporting by the media to cause those things. But people need to speak up and speak out. Purposely, you see that on this particular channel, I speak a lot about my Catholic faith, because my conscience provokes me to speak up about what I believe to be the Church of Jesus Christ instituted.